Hello guys, you're welcome back to the series of Know Your CRM in 2016. So in this video we'll be going through the overview of CRM applications, which is more like at the high level. This is more like to, give you a better understanding of what CRM can actually do. I just want to quickly point out that this uh, tutorial or lesson is not actually tied to CRM 2016, as in this particular high level overview of CRM application, because whether it is 2016, which is the latest, or 2015 or 2013, they all have the same uh, core that they try to actually achieve, which is more like to give you an application that you can use to for your customer. So in today's video, we will be talking about the core functionalities of CRM application itself. So CRM Dynamics Dynamics CRM functionalities. So when you're talking about Microsoft Dynamics CRM, so there are actually three main work areas, or sometimes I actually call them modules, which is marketing, sales, and service. That is the core of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So which means it focuses on customer, and that is where you have your C from in the name CRM. And after that, we'll go through, another functionality that is available in Microsoft Dynamics CRM, which is the fact that you can extend the core functionalities, as in the standard or out of the box functionality of CRM. And then the last point we'll be talking about is the marketplace. So these are the core functionalities of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So let's talk about marketing. Now we all know what marketing is all about. So, but talking about Microsoft Dynamics CRM, so Microsoft Dynamics CRM actually deals with your your marketing strategy. So what it does is like it helps you to actually manage your marketing list. So which means those that you actually want to market to, the contact that you want to market to. So if it actually helps you in by using marketing list, which we're actually going to see later on in other videos. And also it has the opportunity, it gives you the opportunity to be able to plan your campaign and your the budget that you want to you want to spend for your campaign. So campaigns might be in the form of email campaigns. It all depends. But the out of the box that actually comes with Microsoft Dynamics CRM is more of the email campaigns. You can also do SMS campaigns depending on whatever campaign you want to do, and it gives you also the opportunity to track your campaign response, like how well is your campaign doing. um, and so that is the main thing about marketing uh, module. And then the next is your sales work area, which is more like the sales module. Now what does sale area or sale module do? Now sales actually gives you the opportunity to generate leads. So and also you can use sales to actually manage your opportunities, which is more like the leads, the opportunity that you actually get from your leads. And it gives you the opportunity to also manage and track communications between the sales team and the customers. And it also gives you the opportunity to manage and maintain your product. So which means if you go into the sales model, so to say, you will be able to actually deal with the leads opportunities, and then you will be able to maintain your product that you're actually selling. So just to quickly explain a little further all about the leads opportunity and everything. Now it you know one of the things that sales model or sales work area actually allows you to do in Microsoft Dynamics CRM is like it allows sales process. Now sales process, by default, we just that is the default that I'm going to talk about. But apart from the default, in other businesses, you can actually customize Microsoft Dynamics CRM to say, what, I want it to allow this. I mean, I want this process to 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 be enforced in Microsoft Dynamics CRM by using rules, so to say. So, but talking about the default, it's like you generate leads. So now the leads usually will may come from your marketing response, like the campaign response. So you may get your campaign like maybe you start a marketing campaign, you set out email campaign kind of a thing, and those who actually respond, those who show interest, may be counted as lead. And then by the time you now qualify, based on their interest, now say, okay, do they actually, can you actually get an opportunity from those prospect? And then that is what will now lead to the generation of opportunity. And once you are in the opportunity, I mean, once you have your opportunities, then you can generate code for them. You can, and from then you can create your order and then invoice. Like I said, it is not a must that you have to that it has to follow, like that your sales process must follow this order. But this is the default. You can change whereby, like, you can move from opportunities and go straight to creating order and then invoice. It's all the, but this is more like the default. So that is basically what sales module or work area is responsible for in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And then the last work area or module in Microsoft Dynamics CRM is the service. Now, for service, this is where you manage your cases. Cases is more like complaints or or issues that your customers have. Are actually raising. So this is not for prospects. This is not for leads. This is more like for your customers, those that are already buying or have already bought your service or your product. So, and then you can also manage contract, and then you can manage your services that you are selling. You can manage the resources that are available for you to actually attend to your customers. You can also deal with appointment scheduling. So this is more like to actually schedule your resources based, or I mean, schedule the resources that will be available for each service at every point in time. And also you have the opportunity to maintain the repository of your information, of your knowledge, that all the resources, so to say, can actually make use of. So this is more like the breakdown of the modules, talking about the marketing, the sales, and the service. So, and then the next that I would like to talk about is the relationships and records. Now we've actually talked about what makes Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but this relationship and records actually more like talks about how Microsoft Dynamics tends to actually tie things up, right from right from all the work areas or the modules. Now in Microsoft Dynamics CRM, you cannot do away with what is called entity. In fact, that is more like, if I can say, the reserved word in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Now, entity is actually more like a representation of an object, if I can put it that way. If I program, I can say it's more like a class. So, and the field is it. I mean, the field actually represent a particular information, of a class or of an object that you're trying to represent. Let's say, for example, now talking about going back to entity, you can say, well, customer, for instance, or let's say contact, for instance, is an entity. And then a field might be, say, a name. The first name is a field. And then you have a form. A form is a collection of fields, which means on a form you can have several fields. You can have first name, you can have last name, you can have the phone number, etc. So those are the fields that will tell more about your entity. And then you have a record. A record is an instance of an entity. So it's just a particular a particular record, because in an entity you can have several records, right? So a record is just an instance of an entity. And then let's talk about the last in this particular slide, which is about relationship. Now relationship is how Microsoft Dynamics actually ties entities together. If I'm going to be using the example of account, contact and case. Now, account is related to contact, and in a way, if you create a case, a case can be the person making the case might be an account or a contact. So in a way, they are related to each other. It might be one to many, or or many to many. It all depends. So that is more like the summary of this. Now, to quickly go into Microsoft Dynamics CRM itself as in the web, so that you can actually get a better understanding of what we've quickly gone through. Now, this is Microsoft Dynamics CRM web. Now remember we talked about the three core functional areas of Microsoft Dynamics, which is the sales, the marketing, and the service. You will see that you can see them here: the sales, the service, and the marketing, which we've pretty much talked about them. And if you quickly look into sales, you can see that you can generate leads. Your leads can be converted to opportunities, and then you can sort out your codes, your orders, and your invoices and your product. And then for service, you talk about the case, and this the you can also have access to product anyway, and services, the kind of, and then the marketing, leads, everything, they all tie together in a way, because they are, that is where the relationship actually comes in. So, and then remember, we right from the beginning of the slide, we talked about the other part of it, which is like being able to extend Microsoft CRM, and that is why you have the XRM. If you've heard about XRM or you've not heard about XRM, the X stands for the fact that you can extend. It might be, by default it is CRM, which is customer relationship management. It can be product, relationship management, or say property relationship management. It all depends. So the X stands for that you can actually extend, move away from the concentration of the customer to another thing entirely. And this is achieved by being able to customize, being able to create new entities, that kind of a thing. And then the last part is the marketplace. Now, the marketplace is where you have vendors, where you have external or third party creating a solution for you, extending Microsoft Dynamics for you, whereby like you don't have to actually go through customizing your platform yourself. So all you have to do is just to get the solution and install it on your platform, and then you have your solution ready. You can actually see that, we can do from settings, and you will see the aspect of there's a place where you can see Dynamics Marketplace. So if you go to Dynamics Marketplace, it can give you a list of all possible solutions. So it's possible that maybe you're trying to achieve something in your company, and rather than having to look for perhaps a developer, depending on how complex what you're trying to do, you may already have your solution on Dynamics Marketplace, which you can just buy. Some may be free, so if it's not free, you may have to buy. So that wraps up what we have for today. But I would like to quickly give you a preview of what we're going to be going through or treating in the next lesson. So the next lesson, we're going to focus in managing service cases. So like what that means is like, how can we actually identify the customer service entities and record types, like how can we create service cases, how can we maintain and organize cases. Now I just want you to quickly highlight that these highlight, right, what we're going to treat next lesson is actually based on MB2 700 exam. So like I said earlier in the previous video, if you have the plan to actually sit for MB2 700, the next lesson is going to focus more into that. And in that video, I will more like try and touch base on one or two questions that you may be expecting, so that at least you have a better understanding of what the exam is all about, and also how to use the CRM. Remember, it's not only about passing the exam, it's you really understanding Microsoft Dynamics. So thank you very much for your time once again, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much and stay blessed.